Hi, everyone.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. That was a very nice presentation from Ken about platform engineering and developer experience. And we are from Electrolux, and today, me and Alina, we are going to talk about the same thing that we have gone through the couple of years and the hard lessons that we learned. So, for people, if you are from Sweden, I guess you are probably familiar with Electrolux already because we have the appliance everywhere. But for people who are not from Sweden, you might not know us. But we have actually around 20 plus brands globally. And here we show the three major brands that we have: AEG, Electrolux, and Freestyle. So maybe you have seen some of them, and they are all under this group. And inside the Electrolux, we divide our appliances into three different categories. One is taste, that is most for cooking, and care, that is for like washing and well-being, like air purifier. And for certain type of appliances, they also have more advanced capability for connectivity, which means once you buy the appliance, you can connect them to Wi-Fi, and afterwards you can use our mobile app or maybe some other third-party integration to interact with our appliances. And in the most recent generation of oven, we also introduced some very nice cooking experience with AI capability. So just want to mention here, when I talk about AI, it's not the most popular Gemini or ChatGPT that you use every day. So unfortunately, you cannot chat with our oven, but maybe it will change in the future. We never know. And a little bit about ourselves. So my name is Con. I'm the manager of the SRE team, and also now it's called platform team. I have roughly 20 years experience, and I have gone through from software development through SRE and through platform. And here you can see this was a photo taken a few years ago that I stand close to our dashboard to monitor our kind of platform status.
Hi again, my name is Alina Astapovich, and I'm site reliability engineer at Gang's team. I have more than 5 years of experience in tech industry. It's quite impressive, I know, no need to applause. I came from software engineering, and from being just Java developer to platform and site reliability engineering.
Yeah, and I also want to mention Alina is the main developer of our API platform today. So let's go back to our organization. So digital experience, as you see here, that is the name of our organization. And what we showed before, the consumer experience through the mobile app to the connective appliance. That happens because of what we have here. So we have three main domains. That is the app and the appliance UI. So it includes the mobile app, third-party integration, and also the small console from the appliance. And the connectivity is we have a lot of backend developers, and they build the global connectivity platform in different regions. And also the Electrolux part, that is the operating system and firmware running inside our appliance. And we are the platform team, also called the SIE team before. So one of the main responsibility for us is to ensure that our product teams can focus on features, so they don't need to spend time to figure out which tool should I use for CI/CD or which platform should I use for observability. And as you can see here, this is the typical life cycle. And we want to make sure that all the complexity can be handled through some kind of platform. So that's why that from a couple of years ago, we started to build our internal platform. This is actually based on Backstage, when Spotify announced Backstage. And there are a couple of features we already support today. So in the past, we started as a infrastructure team. We provision, manage all the infrastructures for our product teams. But when we see the growth of different products and the many different teams got created, it's not scaling anymore. So instead of managing infrastructure for our product teams, we started to offer infrastructure template for them. And then nowadays, they can go to IDP and provision the infrastructure in just one button click. And then we also ensure that all infrastructure look like the same, and then everything is under the governance. Most of our services running today, we use microservice. So it becomes a challenge when we have hundreds of microservices from product teams. It becomes not kind of easy to manage. So that's why we also introduced the service module in our IDP. So now developers can use service to manage their services, the life cycle. And then once we launch the infrastructure, services are up and running, and then it comes to the operation path. So our team, we focus a lot on cloud cost. We promote FinOps approach to product teams, and we also want them to understand the unit economy. How does this feature cost? So we also introduced the cloud cost feature in the IDP that people now can see the cloud cost of for example, their infrastructure or their services. And besides that, the most important thing that we are building today is the API platform that Alina is going to dive into. But before we dive into the API part, I would like to come back to our consumers and then to show the exact experience they have today. So this is one of our consumers. So in order to laundry, for example, then she can put clothes into the washing machine, and afterwards she can use the mobile app only, and then start to interact with the appliance. For example, here is the screenshot that shows all your appliances from the mobile app, so you can start to washing the clothes, or you can also change the setup from there. And when it's done, you will get notification. But how this happens under the hood, that's what Alina is going to talk.
Thanks a lot. So let's check out what is going on behind this consumer experience. So mobile app works for us as our main interface to communicate, like for our clients, to communicate with their appliances. So from mobile app, you can send some commands on your washing machine or on your fridge for some reasons, or like you can get some real-time data, information, and like get personal recommendation and so on. And all of these requests are going through connectivity platform. And connectivity platform is built of numerous microservices. And each of them has the set of their own APIs. And our developers work with these APIs on a daily basis, because like really interesting features requires a lot of integration between different microservices. So, but besides mobile application, we notice some interesting things. That there is a growing demand from GitHub users who wants to make an integration with our connectivity platform, like to build their own smart home solutions. And we were like, well, that sounds not that bad. Let's do it. And recently, we launched our external developer portal that you can check by this link if you're interested. And from perspective of API management, right now from API management perspective, we need to take care and think about not only our developers, but also for external developers. And we need to make sure that our APIs works and implements the best practices we can think about. So let's imagine I have a user who wants to send some request to my lovely API right here. And to get the final destination, it takes approximately like 20 milliseconds, right? Please raise your hand if you can list and name all sources, infrastructure resources, sorry, 1 second, production issues here. All resources, all steps that this request is going through to get from my user to my domain. Well, if you can, I truly admire you, because I cannot, I will definitely forget something. So in this 20 milliseconds, this request is going through quite a journey. So for users, it's like one small click, but for developers to implement all this stuff, and think about it, it's work of weeks. Weeks of work. But besides technical challenges and having a lot of infrastructure resources, what are the other challenges that we might face and we actually faced in our digital experience organization? So first, if you remember from Gangstock, we have 3 major domains: taste, care, and well-being. And each domain, we have multiple teams. And like old, new, like something in between teams. And some of them might inherit and have a legacy, like legacy tech stack. Some of them might implement some modern tech stack. And we need, in API management, and not only in API, but in infrastructure management, we need to make sure that we are able to help all of these teams, and we are able to manage all of the resources. This leads to also and applies to having different cloud providers and API gateways. We cannot forget about supporting multiple requests, multiple protocols. So not all APIs are ended up with REST API or like HTTP, right? There is WebSockets, there is Kafka, there is event streams, and more. And of course, we have dev, stage, and production, and multiple regions. So do you remember the list of resources from previous slides, like this hello journey? Now try to provision everything, like manually, in more than 3 regions, in more than different environments. Do not forget anything or lose anything, and try not to go crazy. Mission impossible. And of course, with different stacks, with different perspectives, with different appliances, each team might look on APIs from different angles. So for example, if I would be a mobile developer, which I'm not, happily, I don't really care how your backend services works. Like, do you have a WAF? Do you have a firewall? I don't even know what is it. But me, as a backend developer, I don't really, I might forget who my end customer or end client of my API is, and it's mobile developer. And I don't want to expose or publish my API until I will make sure that it's secured and it follows the best practices. All right, finally, I managed to proceed through all this health journey, and my API is exposed. And you can use it. You as a developer or use an external developer. Are we done with here? Or can I take some more tasks, Gang? No? No, we can't. I can't actually, because there is API monitoring. We also, just provision API is not enough. We also need to take care and look into error rate, latency. Error rate will show us that there is some issue on our services that we need to fix. Latency, there might be some bottleneck that stops our users to have a real customer experience that we want to give them. Of course, we cannot forget about security attacks and bots. We don't want to allow external or internal developers accidentally or intentional abuse our APIs, because this might lead to the increased cloud cost, which we care about a lot, and also make services unavailable for real customers. And all the steps were not like we sit, think about, and talk for 1 or 2 meetings, but actually it was a continuous journey that still continues today. So let's make let's make a step back in time, and we will see how our evolution, on our API strategy evolution. Back in 2015, when we just started with our digital experience, we had only one digital product in our connectivity platform, and having Swagger as API definition and some CI/CD pipeline to expose them was quite enough. But in 2019, we finalized and we did a huge cloud migration. And with different and new cloud vendor, we also slightly changed the way how we work with APIs. So right now we have open API for specification, and we also started to adopt infrastructure as a code approach. And we also have more teams right now, more products, more teams, more people. And infrastructure as a code is a really nice approach if you want to make your teams more independent, more flexible. Because right now with infrastructure as a code, teams are on their own. They can decide what they want to provision, when they want to provision, and be completely independent from SRE team. But with this, it also requires from developers, first of all, learn a new language like Terraform or some other, like CloudFormation, anything else. And they also should be aware about infrastructure details. And not a lot of developers are ready to do so. And also, it leads that with this flexibility, we might lose some API governance, and we might lose a control over things, what exactly product teams do with their infrastructure. And in 2023, last year, we decided that we need to implement API federation. So let's check how it was before API federation. Different products, yeah, it looks kind of the same with like main changes, like some security is missing, but here we have throttling, here we have not. OK, we can live with it, but we knew that we can do better. And by better, I mean API federation. API federation approach basically allows you to bring together all your services and expose one entry point for all APIs. It makes and helps developers to work with APIs in much more smoother and nicer way. All right, and as right now we have one entry point for APIs, we sat and thought, all right, maybe we can also implement one unified place where we can monitor our APIs, to get it together from all these cloud teams and so on. And that's why we started to think about building our own API platform. And you might say, all right, there's a lot of vendors right here, right now, even in the same room with us. Why do we need to build something on our own? And I will tell you why. So this is our requirements. Remember all these different multi-protocols, multi-vendors, multi-cloud, multi-product teams, and a lot of multi-stuff? We don't want to enforce our teams to change their already established infrastructure. That's why some platforms are out of our scope already, because we don't want to migrate to a new API gateway. We already have more than one. It's enough. We also, in that point, we want to be vendor independent. So we have our API gateway, we want to stick with this. Also, as SRE team, as platform team, we really love automation. So we want to make sure that every interaction with API can be automated. Deployment, monitoring, check of security, everything. And as a platform team, we have our own internal developer platform. And we don't want to make force our developers to have multiple open console or on everyday basis, like in your browser, different tabs to check, here's API, here's infrastructure, here's some resources, here's my Slack channel, Microsoft Teams, and so on. We want to have everything in one place, which is IDP. And we're like, all right, we cannot find anything on the market, so we will build something on our own. And this is a really quick sneak peek of our API platform. I know, impressive design, say no more. For our IDP, we use Backstage plugin from Spotify. If you're familiar with this, cool. If not, you can also go and check it on Google. And what is the major idea of our API platform is that we are project-oriented. So we gather all APIs not for cloud account or domain, but we think about projects. And for example, from this page, I can see all endpoints that belongs to one specific project. We can have endpoints, we can have information about how secure is this. We have some APIs key, we have some WAF, we have some authorizer, somewhere it's missing, somewhere it's not. So really convenient to check it out from the one page. And more to come. We don't want to stop actually only on monitoring and provisioning, but we also want, in the future, implement change, drift detection, security. And remember what cloud costs? We think that APIs are really important to check for cloud costs. And here, this.
Yeah, thanks, Alina. So yes, speaking of cloud cost, we really want to our product teams to understand the cost because of the new feature got launched or how people use our consumers using our APIs. And we also embrace open source a lot. That's why we also open sourced certain tools that we have used internally for a couple of years. But open source version will be a different version. But you can go check it out. And then this is the FinOps tools we offer for free. And speaking of the API platform that we are building today, probably I think next year we will also open source it through the same place. So you can, if you are interested, you can talk to us or check our repos. Thank you.
Stay tuned and see you on GitHub. Thank you.